This is a Commodore home computer system. With it, you can learn music, take care of your household accounts, file your lists, type your letters, get into telecommunications, and entertain your family. But it all starts with the Commodore 64 or VIC-20. And now is the right time to start because the price of all Commodore software is now up to 50% less. Commodore computers, in more homes than any other home computer.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. In a world of fun and fantasy and ever-changing views and computer terminology, Commodore is news. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Commodore has a computer for every Australian family at a price every family can afford.
Mum, we need a Commodore.
The world-famous C64 family pack is less than $350. A real computer for not much more than the price of a games machine. With the world's largest choice of programs for education and entertainment.
Mom, Dad, I need a Commodore.
And for $699, the Commodore Pro Pack with disk drive and 15 software programs. A real computer system for $699.
Dad, we need a Commodore.
For advanced color, graphics, and sound, the amazing Commodore Amiga 500 pack. Only $999 for the ultimate home or business computer.
Mom, we need a Commodore.
And for business or personal computing, Commodore introduces the powerful new PC Colt. It's IBM compatible, and just look at the price. Doesn't your family deserve a Commodore?
Are you keeping up with the Commodore?
The Commodore 64 Family Pack is the best way I know to introduce your family to the world of the future. The Commodore 64 is the world's largest selling computer with more than 7 million units purchased worldwide and the world's largest software base for education and entertainment. With this superb Australian reference book included, all for $399 at Commodore dealers now.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and there in the house, the kitten discovered the new Commodore's mouse. Now touch the mouse to do what you choose. The mouse makes the Commodore simpler to use. Educate, entertain, put thoughts together. The world's best-selling family computer just got better. So bring home the new Commodore 64 now. A Commodore Christmas to all, and to all
Marie-Lou s'amuse beaucoup quand elle fait son algèbre. François Bellil termine les plans de magasin. Ils font tout ça et plus encore avec un Commodore 64. Eric a un problème de géographie, mais il trouve la réponse à l'écran.
Commodore met l'ordinateur à la portée de tous.
I adore my 64, my Commodore 64. I cook with it, steam with it, educate the team with it, my Commodore 64. I kids with it, cats with it, count my chicks before the hatch with it, my Commodore 64.
64K memory at a price that will put a computer in every home, business, and school years before anyone ever dreamed.
I adore my 64, my Commodore 64.
Now, Children's Palace gives you the power of the Commodore 64 at tremendous savings. Just trade in any video game or computer regardless of condition and get $100 back from Commodore. Your final cost just $299.88. Add on disk drive and get a bonus pack of software worth $99.95 free. Get the power. Get Commodore 64, just $299.88 with trade-in at Children's Palace.
Mon oncle, ouais, venez voir ça. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça, cette affaire-là? Un ordinateur. Il y a une usine tailleur cette semaine de Commodore 64 avec moniteur et table de travail à 749,97. Et avec le VIC-20 à 159,99, la dataset est 29,99. On peut faire des tas de choses avec ce Commodore-là. Bon, il y a une intelligence, cette petite machine-là.
Le magasin des aubaines pour Noël. Les pour Gédéon, Nika, Livon. C'est Canadian Tire.
Wishing you could join in the Christmas cheer, Ebenezer?
Wishing I could get my hands on that Commodore home computer.
Well, they got theirs at Canadian Tire.
This week, get the Commodore 128 personal computer, just $444.44. The 1571 disk drive, $366.66. And save on the Commodore 64, too.
But why a home computer, Ebenezer? You're just an old penny pincher.
But with the computer, I'll know precisely how many pennies I have to pinch.
Canadian Tire lets you do like Santa and save like Scrooge.
Commodore 64.
Come fai se non ce l'hai?
Commodore 64 ti aiuta nella vita, ti aiuta nello studio, ti aiuta in casa. E giochi, giochi!
Dimmi come fai se non ce l'hai?
Commodore 64. Mai un grande personal è costato così poco.
Rather than compare personal computers ourselves, we asked the computers which one was better on the basis of price and memory. The Apple II preferred the Commodore 64. Then we asked the IBM, and it picked the Commodore 64. Then the Radio Shack chose the Commodore 64. That's what we like about our competition. They're so honest. The Commodore 64, what nobody else can give you at twice the price. Last year, we asked our competition to pick the best personal computer based on price and memory. They all chose the Commodore 64. With all the changes in the computer industry, we thought we'd better check again. The new IBM personal computer chose the Commodore 64. The new Apple IIe chose the Commodore 64. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Commodore, in more homes than any other home computer. There's a new personal computer from Commodore with a third more built-in memory than the Apple II at half the cost. The Commodore 64.
Good luck, son. Make us proud. Forward!
This year, 2 million families will send their kids off to college. But many of these kids won't be able to compete because they lack computer skills. A home computer can help. The Commodore 64 gives you more computer for less money than anyone else. Instead of saving for your kid's education, maybe you should spend a little for it.
The Commodore 64 home computer has an unusually large memory. Remember? It also has all the peripherals you're ever likely to need. Monitors, plotters, printers, disk drives, and a vast range of software. Which means you'll get so much more enjoyment out of your home computer. The Commodore 64. Remember the enormous memory, but don't forget the peripherals and software.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
The Commodore 64, now in a home family pack. A family pack containing the world's #1 selling home computer, a data cassette and joystick, a comprehensive teach-yourself program, plus 3 additional software packages. The Commodore family pack now available from your Commodore dealers and major retail stores. Now that's value for money.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
The world's #1 selling home computer is now in a family pack, the Commodore 64, plus data cassette and joystick, 4 software programs including Introduction to Basic, a teach-yourself program for the whole family. The Commodore 64 family pack, a value of $700 for just $499.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Some people buy an IBM personal computer to manage their finances. But after spending $1,355, what finances are left to manage? Others think one of those tiny computers will do. Fine for storing a few phone numbers and recipes for Nestle Road pie. There's a choice between spending too much or getting too little computer. The Commodore 64 gives you as much memory as the IBM at less than half the cost. Commodore computers in more homes than any other home computer.
How old should your child be before you buy a computer? High school, when he's planning a career? Elementary school, when she can either fall behind or leap ahead? Or
preschool, to give him a head start. When you buy is up to you, but Commodore makes the decision easier than any other computer. Because it's a 64, it's very powerful. Because it's Commodore, it's very affordable.
In January 1982, the Commodore 64 personal computer was introduced with a 64K built-in memory for under $600. So to stay even with Commodore in memory and price, IBM will have to slash its price, quadruple its memory. Apple will also be faced with a sizable chore, and so will Atari. As Shearson American Express put it, the Commodore 64 could be the microcomputer industry's outstanding new product introduction since the birth of the industry. If this is the memory of an IBM computer for $1,565, what's this? The memory of a Commodore 64 for under $600.
Like most other home computers, the Commodore 64 is small and very agile. Unlike most other home computers, it has an enormous 64K memory. This means you can use more exciting and advanced software programs and get so much more enjoyment out of your home computer. The Commodore 64, remember, it costs less than £230, and don't forget, it has the enormous memory.
Now we come to the main...
In the competitive world of home computers, the Commodore 64 is absolutely unbeatable. With its enormous 64K memory, its printers, plotter, disk drive, monitor, and its vast range of software, we believe the only thing the Commodore 64 doesn't have is any serious competition. The Commodore 64. Never forget it's the world's biggest selling home computer.
Happy Christmas, kids.
Happy Christmas, Mom.
Hey, everyone! Look what I found!
Commodore's new computer compendium gives your family thousands of interesting and enjoyable things to do.
It's Adrian Moe.
Oh, great! You choose, Rebecca.
You can play exciting games like Adrian Moe.
Strange. What you doing, Dad?
Capturing the beauties of nature, son.
You can draw fabulous pictures. You can even play music. Rescue your family from boredom this Christmas with the Commodore Computer Compendium.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
You just said the magic words, and look what you did. And look how shopping at Toys R Us computes into big savings. The world's best-selling computer, the new Commodore 64C, comes with GIOS software, 1541 disk drive, a Smart Buy 2.
Swell!
For a higher intelligence, the powerful Commodore 128 with number keypad and more. Also speedy 1571 disk drive. Computing costs less at Toys R Us.
It's the world's biggest Toys R Us. Go!
The SAT test. It can determine whether a kid gets into a good college or not, which is reason enough to own a Commodore computer. Because one recent study showed preparing for the SAT on a computer can really help improve scores.
Okay, stop.
How'd you do? Not bad, not bad. Really, wait.
There are thousands of reasons why more families own a Commodore personal computer. Better SAT scores is just one of them. The Commodore 64 or the Commodore 128.
I'm more alive than ever before. Welcome into my Commodore 64. My friends are knocking down my door to get into my Commodore 64.
It's mind-boggling. Commodore 64 lets you play hundreds more games than any video machine, plus draw, program, even do music.
I'm more alive than ever before, and my friends are knocking down my door. 'Cause now we're into so much more. We're into our Commodore 64.
For the price of a Commodore 64, here's what you get from Apple, from IBM. For what it costs to add a Commodore disk drive, Apple, IBM. Add a Commodore printer, Apple, IBM, the PC Junior. Add a Commodore modem, and now you can get an Apple IIe or an IBM PC Junior with 3 games. Is it any wonder Commodore sells more computers than Apple and IBM combined? A day in the life of a Commodore 64.
Once you get it, you'll wonder how you got along without it.
In a world of fun and fantasy and ever-changing views and computer terminology, Commodore reviews. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. In a world of high technology and ever-changing modes, in a world that's full of make-believe and changing attitudes, are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
At blive bedre og bedre. At overgå sig selv. Det er de fleste menneskers mål. At hjælpe dig med at bruge din energi intelligent og rationelt. Det er Commodores mål. Commodore computere giver dig muligheden for at overgå dig selv hver eneste dag. Commodore, fordi fremtiden for længst er begyndt.
I'm learning fast. I'll give it my best shot.
I knew I could do it.
When you take your Commodore computer and add Hesware brand software, you've got excitement. Like Benji's Space Rescue. You and Benji search the solar system, defend against attacking aliens, and rescue our scientists from fearsome robots. Or Grid Runners, with 31 challenging levels, plus a $5 off coupon good on the full spectrum of Hesware. Games, graphics, word processing, electronic accounting. You want the best for your Commodore computer. You want Hesware. Available wherever fine computer software is sold.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Only the Commodore 64 comes complete with this game cartridge.
Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
This year, Commodore's Family Pack is more value than ever. You get an education in computers with the new Commodore 64, all these extras, plus 4 very realistic games, like Le Mans Formula 1 racing, one-day cricket match, and the armchair official America's Cup computer game. The new Commodore 64 Family Pack, $499, keeping you ahead in the game of life.
I adore my 64, my Commodore 64. I sing with it, write with it, figure my path of flight with it, my Commodore 64. I rate with it, create with it, telecommunicate with it, my Commodore 64.
64K memory at a price that will put a computer in every home, business, and school years before anyone ever dreamed.
I adore my 64, my Commodore 64.
Woke up, opened up the door to play games with my 64. But there was Mom with her mailing list, Susie catching up on the math she'd missed, and playing music a little rock. The dad was charting his favorite stock. Commodore is great to play and learn, especially when I finally get my turn.
Commodore, bringing computers down to earth.
Kansainvälisesti menestyvät ne, joille riittää vain paras. Jo yli 70 000 suomalaista on valinnut Commodoren parhaaksi. Tasavallan tietokone. Commodore 64. Niille, joille vain Commodore on kyllin hyvä.
IBM calls this a personal computer and says a person can afford it. Yet it's over $1,500. Apple says computing is a revolution that can't be missed. But at $1,530, you could miss it. Atari says computers are now within reach. Well, the Commodore 64 has more built-in memory than the others, and it's under $600. So, while everyone else talks about the revolution that's coming, you can experience the revolution that's here.